And now the mayor of the city of New York, the Honorable F.H. LaGuardia.
Tesla, they say, is dead. Tesla is not dead. He is very much alive among us. Should Tesla's word be suddenly withdrawn, darkness would prevail, and we would slump into barbarism. I'm forever blowing bubbles, pretty bubbles in the air.
Yeah.
My background?
Yeah.
You know, I'm originally from the U.S. I was a movie producer there, and for 12 years was president of American Zoetrope, which is Francis Coppola's company. Did all sorts of movies with him, including Godfather 3 and Dracula and other projects. And now in Canada, for the last 10 years or so, I was an executive at the CBC in charge of entertainment, and now I'm sort of a freelance producer, executive producing lots of different interesting television programming. But when you approached me about this Tesla project, I was immediately interested because I actually had developed a feature film project about Tesla. Well, at the time we were working on this, and this was almost 20 years ago, the actor who was very interested in playing Tesla was Daniel Day-Lewis. Instead of thinking of it just as a feature film, one could think of it as a TV series as well, because of course there were so many amazing projects and different people in his life, different parts of his life that we could explore. You look at his life, in a way it's a metaphor for other inventors, other visionaries who have gone up against the status quo, try to effect change, and who for not unsimilar reasons have failed. And so I think there's something about that whole dynamic that is particularly interesting for audiences today.
Okay, so this is my elevator pitch. Nikola Tesla, period drama, science fiction. We have Fred Fuchs, executive producer, Jan Sovak, illustrator, GamePill is our games and mobile apps developer, and we're going to go after HBO, Netflix, or another major network in order to get this off the ground. Your money is going to help us develop and write the story bible, the pilot script, and prove the concept through the games.
I have spent all my life with publishing, and I think that I come to the intersection when I want to change my life. I finally realized that I have grown up, and I want to do what I'm supposed to be doing when being adult.
What else have you worked on? What have you worked on? Come on, toot your horn.
Michael Crichton, Jurassic Park, Lisa Smith, Vampire Diaries, and other projects like that. I have worked for National Geographic and Discovery Channel. And okay, I've done over 300 books. I've done about 60 museums and cultural institutions from Tokyo, Beijing, to Berlin and Frankfurt. I don't want to brag about what I've done. I want to more talk about why I would like to do Tesla. He is this beautiful man, taken advantage of by everyone who wants to make money. And when you realize how many people made a fortune on something he invented and didn't make a cent on, it's mind-boggling. It's something so bizarre, that I think that it's a modern, ugly fairy tale. I feel very close to him because he was misunderstood, and yet he never let the world to get him, did he?
It really is just finding the key to telling this in a compelling way that is accessible to a large audience.
Now, how do you feel, like obviously we've talked about this, what do you think the realistic, is it realistic to get this series up?
I think it's completely realistic because Tesla's, although not someone who might be a household name that everyone's heard of, he's certainly someone many people know something about. And he remains kind of an enigmatic figure, and therefore there's this wonderful mystery around him, which I think people would enjoy finding more. Also, as you point out, he lived during a very, very interesting period of time in a very interesting place.
Right.
And perhaps through his eyes and his relationships with other real characters or potentially fictional characters of that period, we'll have a chance to explore what that society was like.
Where would you ideally like to see it land?
Well, that's a good question, because of course now there are so many different avenues for distribution. This could just as easily be a wonderful Netflix series as it is an HBO series, or it could even potentially be for one of the major networks, as far as I'm concerned.
So it's really up to us to prove the concept. So our whole campaign is structured that our base goal is $90,000. With that, we'll do our pilot script. Our first stretch goal is $200,000, and with that, we do the pilot script plus the show Bible. The show Bible is a comprehensive document discussing all the aspects of the series so that television networks know exactly what they're getting into. At $500,000, our next stretch goal, we do a graphic novel series in an app format on a subscription basis.
Hi, my name's Mike Sorrenti. I'm the president of GamePal. We develop games, apps, and PC games for companies like Mattel, Disney, and Nickelodeon. Some of our most successful games have been Tattoo Artist, Tenkai Knights, and Tank the Aquarium game for Discovery Channel. As part of this Kickstarter campaign, GamePal will be developing a mobile app, a mobile game, and a PC game based on the Tesla Man of Light content.
At 1 million, we get into a mobile game, which is an adventure game. At 2 million, we do a PC game, which is very similar to A Wolf Among Us, which is interactive, a bit sci-fi fantasy.
Tesla Man of Light will be a PC sci-fi adventure game based on Tesla's time in New York, Paris, and Prague. The goal of the game is to master Tesla's skills, to invent Tesla technology, and to use it to change the course of history.
At 4 million, we have enough of a backing on Kickstarter to then go to the networks and say, listen, we've already proved the concept. There is, in this limited market here just alone, enough backing for a series on Tesla. So really, if you're backing us, you're not just backing us for a single product or a single one-time payoff. You're really backing us to have a whole long-term experience. Your support is obviously the most instrumental aspect in getting this going. I mean, we have a great team and we have a great idea and all of that, but nothing gets executed without you. This is the time for this story.
Well, the funny thing is that very people understand that without him, probably people like Paul Allen and Jobs, they would not exist, because that's the field he created for them.
Yeah.
He created the field they could play the soccer on.
We need all of your support. Every little bit helps. There's obviously a great capacity now for funding through these types of grassroots activity. And it's like a snowball. It can start very small, but once it starts and it continues to grow and grow and grow, it actually becomes easier and easier. So it's the getting started that's often the most difficult part. And but I'm very confident once we do get started, there'll be lots of people and lots of others who want to be part of this who will come along.